I've been watching anime since about 2018, with my first anime being Dragon Ball Super. And yes, I watched Dragon Ball Super before Dragon Ball Z. But despite watching anime for the last 7 years of my life, I probably do have the same amount of knowledge as the anime man. But there's definitely one thing I can tell about an anime, and that's if an anime is decent or if it's downright trash. So today, let's get into the world of bad anime. Of course, the main point of anime is to be animated. So animation is one of the most important factors when watching an anime. I mean, obviously the story matters, the characters matter, but if an anime looks like trash, most people are gonna think of it as trash. So let's go over a couple of examples of trashy animated anime, starting off with Blue Lock, which is the one that I'm most familiar with, if I'm being honest. And honestly, I wish I was joking when I said this, but I've seen manga edits with more motion than this anime, which, by the way, was made by a multi-million-dollar company. But let's get into it. You'll see what I mean. This is one of the infamous scenes right here. I mean, the ball's flying to the screen, and we've got a PNG of, I think that's the main character. We've got a PNG of him moving to the side slightly. I could do that pretty easily. Yeah, I'm not an animator. You know why I can do it? Because this isn't an animation. This is like basic motion graphics at best. And look at his foot. Look at his foot.
What?
They didn't even animate the particles of like wind coming off of his foot. His leg was just up the entire time. That smoke was there the entire time. It's like they ripped this straight out of the manga panel and put it into the anime. And like at most, all they did was probably like color it, maybe. Okay, next is X-Arm, which is a Crunchyroll original, meaning it was co-produced by Crunchyroll. But before you assume every Crunchyroll original is terrible, don't, because they aren't. Apparently, Tonikaku Kawaii is a Crunchyroll original, which I didn't know actually, but I have seen it and it is one of the most wholesome animes I've seen. So I just wanted to put that out there. You know, not all Crunchyroll animes are bad. Anyways, X-Arm, let's see it. Okay. First gripe I have with this anime. The side characters are 2D, but he's 3D. Why are they in different planes of like dimension, if that's how you say it? He's 3D and they're 2D. It doesn't make sense. Okay, what? I didn't do that. The anime did that. His dad's 2D and he's 3D. It just looks so off-putting. No, look, it looks even worse here because he has shadows on his face and his dad doesn't. Why is she just putting... Yo, what is that expression? Yo, she looks constipated. What the hell? Finally, we've got Berserk, one of the greatest manga of all time, which inspired a bunch of Soul games like Dark Souls, Sekiro, Demon Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne. You know, From Software. Just everything from Software came from Berserk, apparently. Okay, for Berserk, this is definitely the worst bit, where they show what I imagine is a pretty important place. Well, okay, even if it wasn't important, you wouldn't show it like this. Like, why is it shaking like this? Like, this is not edited, by the way. I didn't do anything. And for these two animes, we can't really blame 3D CGI because there are some animes which get it really right. Animes like Gundam or like Attack on Titan, which people were complaining about, by the way. Attack on Titan looked great. I mean, not even compared to this, it just looked great. So saying CGI is to blame is such a cop-out because it isn't. Whoever is running the CGI is to blame. The next main factor of an anime is the main character, because when you watch the anime, you're gonna spend most of your time watching the main character do stuff, unless you're watching Jujutsu Kaisen where you're just fanning over Gojo the entire time, which, hey, I don't blame you. I mean, those Gojo breathing 10-hour clips, I don't blame you. You know, we're in the same boat when it comes to that. But when I think of a bad main character, there's only one guy that comes to mind because, like I said, I don't have much knowledge in anime, but the main example I can think of right off the top of my head is Kazuya from Rent-a-Girlfriend. If you haven't subjected yourself to this piece of absolute hot boiling dog shit, first of all, pat yourself on the back. You're clearly doing something right in life if you haven't chosen to watch Rent-a-Girlfriend. Anyways, the show. This is Kazuya. He gets dumped by his girlfriend. So he does what any normal person would do, you know, something that we, as in me and you, would do, and decides to go on his phone and rent a girlfriend, where he basically pays money to go on a date with a girl, and then he goes around telling his family,
Girlfriend. She's my girlfriend.
and you know, more girls get added to the mix and it just spirals down from there. And I would say this anime just goes downhill from here, but realistically you can't go further down if you start on bedrock. This anime has literally no redeeming qualities. But I'm not here to talk about the anime because trust me, I could make an entire video about this one anime. Right now, we're here to talk about how ridiculous this absolute loser is.
Yo, Kazuya! How many times you jerk it yesterday?
Only 3 times.
Whoa, hardcore!
Virgin's gonna virgin.
Back at you.
So let's bring in Exhibit A, the pool scene. As you can see, our favorite MC is bricked up in a swimming pool. Not for the reason you would think, or not for the reason that I thought initially at least. He's actually imagining his, you know, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I genuinely can't believe I'm about to say this. He's imagining his rented girlfriend getting fucked by another guy. Just let that, just let it simmer for a little bit. The author of this manga thought about this scene and genuinely wrote it. Yeah. Exhibit B is this Reddit post which totals the amount of money that Kazuya has spent on Chizuru. The total amount of money that he spends, I'm gonna be completely honest, this guy's putting some top OnlyFans donors to shame. I mean, he spent a total of $22,000, which, I mean, you could buy so much with that. Like, you could do so much with that money. Like, imagine if he put that all into a slot machine and doubled it. Imagine if he put that all on the poker table and left with double. I mean, come on. We have to be making smarter choices in life. Alright, so I'm about to finish editing and I just found something amazing. Like, I've just stumbled on something golden. So, on the official Crunchyroll channel, I found this video. Chizuru rejects Kazuya for like the 13th time or something. And the beginning of the description says, episode 43, I stopped counting, I don't know. And obviously the rest of the description is normal, but even Crunchyroll is completely fed up with this anime and how ridiculous this guy is. Because like I said before, I could make an entire video on just this one anime because it is so bad in so many ways. But I just thought this was hilarious because Crunchyroll always posts clips from animes that they have, and I just thought this was hilarious. Next up, I want to go over some goofy isekai names because the entire isekai genre is known for its ridiculous names. So the word isekai directly translates to different world, and that's basically the entire plot of every single one of these animes. The main character gets hit by a truck and wakes up in another world. And yes, it is almost always a truck. I mean, this happens so often that there's an entire 18-minute compilation on YouTube of just main characters in isekais getting hit by trucks. But before I talk about isekai animes, I just want to say I've only seen like 2. One called Zenshu and ReZero, which I think most people know about. Anyways, let's get into these wacky titles because they're very long and very specific, and for some reason they always mention some kind of perk that you would find in an RPG game, like magic or defense or something like that. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Who's seeing that title and is being like hell yeah, that's what I want to watch today? Because it doesn't even make sense to me. You know when you have a book and you look on the back and you see like a little description of the story? This is like the opening sentence I would imagine to be on the back. I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic. Like, it's like the anime is talking to us. He's like, hey, I'm a noble, so, you know, I might as well master magic. You know, it's not like I have anything better to do. Oh, okay, this is one of my favorite ones. I couldn't become a hero, so I reluctantly decided to get a job. This one kind of reminded me of the story of Icarus and how he flew too close to the sun. So, you know, he dreamt too big, he dreamt too large or whatever, and he got burnt for doing it, which is exactly what I imagine this one's about. And honestly, this might be the most relatable title I've seen because of that one word, reluctantly. You know, our MC wants to live the dream lifestyle, you know, reaching that final form of like peak unemployment, which, hey, I don't blame him. Chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. This kind of reminds me of one of those clickbaity articles that you would see on the side of a website. That's what I imagine this anime to be. You know, you're reading a post and on the side it's just chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. That's exactly where it should go. I may be a good receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Like, I don't know why this title feels like it has so much attitude or sarcasm or whatever. Okay, fine. Two more. These are genuinely hilarious, trust me. The day in the life of a middle-aged shopper online in another world. Because we can't be shopping in this world, apparently. You ever heard of Amazon? Like, why are we going to another world to be a middle-aged online shopper? I mean, technically my parents are middle-aged online shoppers. Reborn as a vending machine. Now I wander the dungeon. Honestly, I have no idea what the plot could possibly be. Like, he's a vending machine. The guy is an inanimate object. Then again, he has a face, so he's probably not inanimate. And finally, the anime title that inspired this entire video. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. My trusted companions tried to kill me, but thanks to the gift of an unlimited gacha, I got level 9,999 friends, and I'm out for revenge on my former party members and the world. I mean, at that point, you shouldn't even have a description for a series like this. Moving on to the next thing, unnecessary fan service. Fan service is basically when a female character gets as naked as they can without the age rating of the anime going up, or for the anime to become an ecchi, which is basically just hentai. And the only fan service we accept on this channel is Gojo breathing clips. Okay, any sort of females getting naked or you know, jiggle physics going on, nope, we hate that. Get it out of here, okay? The first anime that came to mind with this one was Fire Force, because it's one that I've seen, one that I think is actually a good anime. It's just the fan service is so bad. With just one character as well. That's the worst bit. One character designed like this. I mean, the author of the manga willingly chose for her to look like that. Keeping in mind, she's a nun and she dresses like this.
Can I put my balls in your jaw?
これから死にゆく者に説明する必要はない。
少しだけ忘れっぽいがよろしくな。
Why did he do that? So as you can tell, fan service mainly happens in the most ridiculous and unrealistic situations, and the only thing that it does for the anime is label me a gooner for watching it, because I would tell people, hey, I watch Fire Force, it's a pretty good anime, you should also watch it. They go on Google, they search it up, and they see this, and they're like, oh, you're just a gooner, man, you're disgusting, this is what you watch. Finally, we've got bad pacing, and of course I couldn't make a video about bad anime without mentioning bad pacing. The best example of this, One Piece. I mean, how can you run a manga for almost 30 years and have it still running to this day? Keeping in mind, this anime was like about finding a treasure, right? Like the One Piece is a treasure or something. Well, I don't know, because I'm never gonna watch it, and with that I should probably start running because the One Piece fanboys are gonna come for me. Bye bye.